Serendipity. That's how you pronounce the word. Serendipity. You were very close, my sweet. You've made such good progress. I'm proud of you. Yes, I am. You're bright, full of curiosity and warmth. I named you well when I named you my sunshine. I think I'd have really liked it if we went to the same school. Yeah, it would have been nice. But I don't think I'd have been able to focus on my studies much with you around. Don't make me say it. Don't you already know? You want to know what that word means? Serendipity. Let's see. It means a series of happy accidents. Good things happening to you. Because the universe has secretly conspired to help you. Has it ever happened to me? Oh, sure it has. Only recently. Do you want to continue reading the story? No? Well then, would you like me to read it to you? Okay. It was by a stroke of serendipity that the boy found himself working in the household of the girl that he liked. She was a vampire, as you know, and society wouldn't let them be together. But it didn't matter. He was happy to simply be around her, to serve her breakfast, arrange her dresses, brush her long blonde hair in the morning and before bed, and let her feed from him in secret when no one was watching. As for the vampire, she'd already decided he was going to be hers. It was she who'd convinced her parents to take him in. She who schemed and plotted so the boy would end up as her personal butler. And she made sure he'd spend most of his waking hours with her each day. It was a pity that humans needed to sleep. Else she'd not let him do that either. After all, she loved the boy. She didn't care if it was wrong or right. She just did. Yeah, some guys do get all the luck in the world. but so do some girls. What happened after that? Well, as the months passed, the two of them only grew closer, falling in love. But her repeated feedings had left the boy somewhat weak and anemic. He protested it was fine, but seeing her darling that way tugged at her heartstrings. So, for his sake, she decided she'd try to survive on blood from animals as often as she could. Drinking another human's blood felt like cheating. It was silly, but love often is. And so she went hunting in the forest one evening. Much to her indignation and worrying, the boy tagged along and wouldn't take no for an answer. They spent all night hunting wild animals, foxes, deer, elks, and the like. It was pointless, of course. Vampires can only drink blood from humans. As she found out, what a colossal waste of a perfectly good night. As they prepared to return home. But little did the two of them know, they weren't the only ones hunting in the forest. A group of vampire hunters, waiting in the shadows the entire time, suddenly set upon them. And they wouldn't listen. The vampire watched with horror as they drew their weapons. She didn't understand. She'd never hunted humans her entire life. She had only ever had fangs for her darling. Why, then? Why would the hunters not listen to their pleas? Was being born with red eyes enough reason for her to not be allowed to live? She pleaded with the boy to get away. She had to save him. She couldn't let him get hurt. But her butler would not leave. He stood between her and the hunters, yelling at her to run. The hunters didn't want to strike down one of their own race, but the boy wouldn't move. In the heat of the scuffle, one hunter's blade struck truer than he'd intended, and that was it. The vampire watched helplessly as her darling bled out on the ground. His eyes, which only a few moments ago had sparkled with some inane joke that she couldn't remember, were now cold and dead. And in that moment, something snapped. She saw red. She had never needed to fight before. Her dormant powers awakened, and she felt an insatiable thirst for blood, but not to drink. She slaughtered every last one of those hunters. When her vision returned to normal, she found all of them dead, and herself covered in scarlet. But it was too late. She desperately tried to revive him, tried to turn him, but nothing worked. No force in this world can bring back a human after they're dead. All you can do for them is bury them. But you know something, Sunshine. The vampire found blood rolling down her cheeks as she cradled his head. She was crying tears of blood. And it said, where her tears touched the ground, the first hibiscus flowers bloomed. Blood red. Beautiful. And those flowers would remind her of him, even if she was cursed to exist forever. She would never forget. That brief stretch of time in her life when she truly lived. This used to be one of my favorite stories growing up, you know. It's the first one I read which made me realize not all stories have happy endings. To this day, hibiscus flowers make me depressed whenever I spy one. We vampires seem to have a strange relationship with flowers. They are common in our traditions and folklore. But they probably shouldn't be. They're everything we're not. Fleeting, fragile, soft, alive. Yes, we vampires also seem fond of servants. So often, we like to take humans we fancy and make them our butlers and maids. But can you really blame me? You make quite the coffee. Well, your coffee is growing on me. I don't need to eat or drink the way humans do, but I still like to. It helps me feel like I'm still connected to my old way of life. Yes. Hey, Sunshine. You don't mind being my butler, right? Really? I'm happy to hear that. I mean, I wanted to give you something to do after, you know, when you so bravely took a bullet for me and lost a kidney. I'm afraid it's the end of your vampire hunting career. You're not as agile as you were before, and your instincts have dulled from spending so much time trapped in the arms of the very creature you're supposed to kill. I'm sorry about that, teddy bear. I most certainly am not. You are so warm, so soft, so cute, so blushy. I adore you, sweetheart, and I promise I'll never let you get hurt again. I know you chose to do what you did because you wanted to protect me. But that is the one freedom which I won't give you. You're not allowed to put yourself in danger anymore. Not for my sake, not for anyone's. If something were to happen to you, I would be shattered. Completely. So, the next time you're about to do something stupid, think on that. If you risk your life again and end up surviving, then I'll kill you myself. Understood? Tell me you understand. Good boy. You don't need to worry about taking down any more evil bloodsuckers, right? Right. Uh-huh. Trust me. They're all gone now. Morwena has been cleansed of rogue vampires. People aren't deprived of their lives outside the rule of law anymore. And it's all because of you. You made this place a safe haven for humans once more. And you saved my life. Yes, I cannot die from bullets, but, you know, they still sting. So, thanks for that. My hero. I always wanted to build a world where humans and vampires can live with each other peacefully. It sounds laughable, I know. Impossible. But even if we could never be equals in society, I still want humans to have all the liberties that vampires can enjoy. I want you and your friends to be able to live, and live well. No, I really am a vampire. You should know. You're my favorite blood pack. Yes, you are my one and only blood bag, but I'm pretty sure I'd never want anyone else. Because I'm in love with you. Stupid. You may be right, my darling. Perhaps I think and feel this way because I've not been a vampire for long. Part of me still feels human. I don't want to lose that part. I'm scared of losing that part. I never told you why I named you Sunshine, did I? Something about you reminds me of a memory. Yeah, if I close my eyes, I can see them. The sunbeams, swirling dust in an attic full of old books. The sun is warm, and its light is gentle. And the afternoon is quiet and hazy, but I can still hear my brother playing the piano down below. The notes are faint, sweet, and they drift up into the attic, swirling in the dappled sunlight, like motes of musical dust. I did have a brother, yes. Older than me, kinder than me. And our parents were nice and very loving. I knew of vampires, of course, but they always felt like creatures of legend, our unseen overlords, monsters that dwelled far, far away, not in our tiny village behind the walls. My brother and I could have peacefully lived our lives without having ever seen them. But the universe had other plans. Or maybe it was just her, the woman who led them into our village, torched the place to the ground, snuffed out the lives, and replaced it with the fires of burning houses. The woman who destroyed it all in one night. My mentor. She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. She seemed to glide over the earth instead of walk. Her armor shined like it was made of the moon, and everything about her disarmed you. I would never have known someone so alluring could be so cruel. And there she stood, surrounded by corpses and blood and cinder, gently holding my brother at her side, looking at him with, well, it'd take me many years to fully understand that look in her eyes. It's the same way I look at you. Smitten, attached, possessive, beyond all limits, the way only a vampire could be. She took us into her world, one of endless luxury and power and revelry. Everything we could have ever wanted was ours. Everything. Except the blue sky. Because the sky was always grey and cloudy in her world. She separated the two of us. I was sent to live with one of her sisters, growing up alongside vampires. Had my own tutors and guards, and attendants. As for my brother, she kept him all to herself. I was only permitted to see him once a week. You know, Sunshine, my brother wasn't like you. He wasn't a vampire slayer. Someone used to fighting in the world at every step. But he was the bravest man I knew. He kept so much bottled up inside, carried the weight of the world on his shoulders, the whims of his mistress. And he never failed to smile when he saw me. Always had some curious little gift, some funny little story to share with me. He was warm like the sun, like you. Perhaps that's why she loved him so much. I don't need to tell you her name, nor do I need to hear it again. So I'll just call her the lady. That's who she was. I wanted to be like her. Beautiful, powerful, unstoppable, a noble of the Night Court. If you can't win against them, you might as well join them. Isn't that right? The lady taught me how to fight, how to dance, how to look pretty, and how to conquer. She moulded me into the vampire I am, and it was she who turned me. Sunshine, I became like this because I wanted to finally be able to protect my brother. I needed him to know that he could rely on me. There was nothing he had to be afraid of anymore. I wanted to be strong so that we could fight the world together. But he couldn't accept what I'd become. I was now the very thing that killed our parents. It was me he was afraid of. Sunshine. He ran away from me. My brother didn't want to be turned. The only other way for a vampire to keep a human with her until eternity's end is for her to enthrall him permanently. But for a human to be put under thrall indefinitely, he first needs to be broken. And my brother by then was completely broken. At last, he had nothing to live for except her. He was truly hers. I did see him again after he became her thrall. Some of his old warmth had returned. He was still himself, but he was someone else. He would always get jittery, anxious, when his mistress wasn't with him. He was completely dependent on her. His world revolved around her. But do you know the strangest part? Despite everything she'd done, Sunshine, despite how utterly she had broken him, there was still that look in her eyes. The lady. She'd only ever looked at my brother with love, and with this bright, guileless smile on her face, as if just seeing him made her heart skip a beat every time, as if she genuinely couldn't see what she was doing was wrong. What happened? It was love that made her slip up. Just one moment of weakness was all it took. A stroke of serendipity. And he was free. He ran away from her into the darkness of the night. There was a thunderstorm that night. I don't like storms, sweetheart. I hate them. It wasn't very long ago at all. Sunshine. Why am I speaking about my brother like he's dead? He's not. He's not. I can feel he is out there. He is still alive. But the lady and I still haven't found him. It will just take some time. It's only a matter of time. What? No, my sweet, naive pet. Letting him go wouldn't be for the best. You wouldn't expect something you've loved and nurtured his entire life to be able to survive out in the wild, all on his own. Now would you? How can you expect the lady to do the same? No. I'm angry with her, but I don't hate her. The worst part is, I understand how she feels, what it's like to fall in love with something you treasure more than anything in the world, and do everything in your power to hold on to them. Everything. When you love something, you keep it with you forever. I'm not going to make you my thrall. I saw what it did to my brother. I do not want that for you. I don't, my sweet. So, I have to ask, would you hate me if I turned you